Hey everyone, welcome to a new video of my multiplayer server. In this video I show you everything that was made in round 29. Now round 29 again was a special round, because in this round everybody had to build without using any cheats or without the tile inspector. So yeah, it's really a throwback to the old times when you didn't have all those tools to work with. No, I actually this map may look familiar, but it probably doesn't. I actually used the Forest Frontiers map, and then I just cleared a large area here, and that's where the map was built. Maybe easier to see like this. I put these little squirrel bushes in front of the entrance, just to make it more obvious that it was Forest Frontiers. Anyway, there were 16 entries. 2 people sadly dropped out, but in the last 2 hours, 2 players stepped up who built something nice in those 2 plots. Anyway, let's start with the plot that ranked 16th. Alright, in 16th place we have this plot made by TIMidator. He's a newcomer for multiplayer. He did create something for my 2 monthly ride building contests, and here he went for this monster truck ride on top of a mountain. Well, there's also a mine train coaster. Well, it does look okay. Well, when you're going for a mine team, you should really avoid using this rock texture everywhere. It looks so much better if you mix it up with some dirt, some grass, just put some nice trees. Especially these buildings really make no sense being here on top of this mountain. It doesn't even look like a mountain, it's more of a really blocky section. It looks quite monotonous, and that's something you should really avoid. I do like that he tried to go for these roofs by using these wooden coaster tracks, but really, when you make a building with a roof, you should at least also make some windows in it. But yeah, of course, where there's 16 entries, of course, 1 person has to get last place. So yeah, I do hope this was a learning experience for TIMidator, and that he makes something better next time. But nice effort, at least. Okay, in 15th place we have this plot made by Ricardo Wodo. He made this wooden wild mouse coaster with this big structure underneath it and lots of plants here. Let me use cutaway view here quickly. Alright, that's better. So yeah, big wooden wild mouse coaster. Lots of greenery here right next to it. But yeah, sadly that's all there is to see. I'm also not too sure about this big structure under the coaster. It would have probably looked nicer with normal supports under it, like a normal wooden wild mouse would have. Or maybe he could have used the space under here to actually make a shopping mall or something like that. There's something to give a reason for this structure to be here. And maybe it could have used another ride here, or something interesting to look at. I think a pirate ship, a swinging ship, would have looked nice in this area. And then it would have probably gotten a bit better score. Okay, here we have the plot made by Nik Batlik. Yeah, I will definitely use a cutaway view here, because there's a lot of stuff surrounding it, and we want to get a nice view of the area. Alright, so he made this side friction coaster together with a Virginia reel here, and also some buildings. A building filled with shops. Now, one thing that immediately, one thing I don't really like is that the plot is really filled with coaster. You should really make sure your area has some breathing room. Just maybe some more trees, some bit of open area maybe, or maybe some extra buildings rather than extra coaster track. But really, there's no, yeah, it just feels cramped, and that's probably something you should try to avoid. I do like the colors, but also it has the same decorations everywhere, and that just makes it look well less interesting, I think. I do like these little building sections right next to the station, but it could have probably used a little bit more of that. Alright, then we have this plot made by IamBEAR. He actually was one of the players who stepped up to fill in for a player that dropped out in the last moment. So he built this in around 2 hours, and I think it looks really impressive. So yeah, the coaster here has a nice station. Well, one section of her roof is missing because the coaster is passing through it, I guess. So yeah, it's just a simple layout for a Giga coaster. Just drop some chainlift here, and it has a small pre-drop here, then some more curvy and hilly sections, and most of the plot is just filled with trees and some nice waterfalls as well. So yeah, it's I think it's quite simple, a lot of landscaping, but I think it's quite impressive. Because he did everything in just 2 hours. I do think there's some walls missing here, but yeah, there's. I think it's really impressive what he put together in such a short time. Alright, and in 12th place we have this plot made by HenkDeSuperNerd. I think it's quite funny what he made. He actually had an issue, I think it's with his firewall, that he kept getting disconnected from the game after 20 seconds. I think at some point he fixed it, or later the problems kept coming back, I'm not sure. But yeah, the coaster and the names of the rides on this plot are a reference to that. So the coaster is called Frustration, and there's also this maze, which is called the Quest for Stable Connection. It's actually quite funny. And this maze, well, I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually shaped like his name, so it's called Henk. It's shaped as his name, so that's quite funny. But yeah, other than that, it's really a simple plot. I really like the layout of this coaster, it's quite nice. It's a stand-up coaster, you don't see many people make those. But I think it worked quite well. Alright, then we had a tie for 10th place. Here we have the plot made by Jaron. He made a wooden roller coaster, also again in a hilly landscape. Well, I really like the look of this station. He even used some nice layering here for the building. That's a nice job. I like how the building here starts at the bottom, and then it's also used for for one of the higher parts of the coaster. That's pretty cool. One thing I didn't like about this plot was how slow the Woody goes over some of the hills. I mean, it's a wooden coaster, so it really needs some air time in order to be exciting, and you can really see it crawl over some of the hills. Well, I've ridden some wooden coasters that actually went over the hills like that, and I have to say they were really boring. So yeah, that's something that didn't weigh in his favor here. But other than that, the scenery here looks really nice. Great work on the buildings. Alright, also in 10th place with the exact same score, we have this plot made by Sheeple, and damn, I really like the layout of this coaster. So he made an inverted coaster. He was inspired by Black Mamba. It's an inverted coaster in Phantasialand. It's also one of my favorite coasters. I really like it. Of course, it doesn't have the same layout. This one also has a Batwing. But yeah, this is a really good layout for an inverted coaster. I think Sheeple did an excellent job on that. Also some nice scenery here. I think there's still a little bit too much grass visible. Maybe you could have used some more different textures on the ground, maybe the grass mixed with dirt a bit, and probably some height variations or more smooth height variations would have probably helped here. But overall, it's a really nice job. I really like the layout of this coaster. Great work. Alright, in 9th place we have this coaster made by Mamarillas. He was also one of the guys that stepped up to fill out for someone who dropped out, and he made this this awesome coaster, which actually has 2 stations, and it gets launched up these 2 Cobra rolls. Does an inversion low above the ground, above the water, and then some more twisty track before it returns to the station. Of course, it's a simple plot, but yeah, you have to keep in mind that it was built in only 2 hours. So yeah, I think it looks really nice. Are these lamps built on the keel path? I didn't even know that was possible. Huh. Guess you learn something new every day, huh? So yeah, really nice work, and yeah, like I said, it was built in only 2 hours, so the stuff that's there is really nice. Great job. Okay, in 8th place we have this plot made by Andae23. I hope I didn't butcher his name. So yeah, this was a money laundering facility. It actually says nothing to see here. Test subjects wanted. Well, he actually made all these little roller coasters here. The one I usually use for my speed runs. I guess they are used to make money off the poor guests who ride these coasters. Anyway, actually different areas in here. There's the CEO's mini golf here, and here we have a money tumble dryer. I guess this is the money laundry machines. So actual money laundering. That's I think that's really funny. The story was also something like this. So yeah, I really think this is funny, and I really love what he put together here. Also, this building looks quite nice, and I like the roof decorations as well. So yeah, great work. Alright, here we have the plot made by Swag Titties. He actually started on the plot. Well, there was one plot remaining, and he started on the plot together with a Popsicle Penguin. But then I told him it was not allowed to work with 2 people on the same plot. So then they both actually got their own plot. But he still divided the plot into 2 areas. So I guess the yellow areas was named after Swag Titties, and this area was named after Popsicle Penguin. He even has 2 entertainers on the roof. And the story was something about him being lovesick or something. And later it was about him being sad, but that he would plot his revenge against the great leader or something. It was actually a really funny story. But yeah, all in all, I think this really looks nice. I love the layout he made for this coaster. I think it's a limb launched coaster. It actually crashed, I think. Not sure. I saw some smoke there, so that's why it was not running. But yeah, it gets launched up here. It goes through this weird twisty track, then through the loop and up the vertical spike. And on the other side here we have Junior Coast that travels through this building with all these weird pipes sticking out. I really like the usage of these spinning tunnels. They're really cool. They're really cool track pieces to use, because they will always spin even if your ride is closed. So yeah, they're a great way of adding some movement in your creations, even if there's not really a ride running. But yeah, overall really nice plot. Also these decorations made with monorail track are also pretty cool. Some nice artwork. So yeah, again here, great work. Love the colors on this plot. Okay, here we have the entry that ended up in 6th place. This one was made by Spons. This was one of my favorites of the round. He made this really nice castle with the vertical drop coaster traveling through it. I have to say the layout for this vertical drop coaster is kind of well, let's say it's not very realistic, but it does look quite nice. And yeah, the layout for me really doesn't matter. It's such a cool looking structure. I loved how he used all these different layers on top of each other, and the color scheme of this thing just works so well. Also really loved these rocks that he put under it with glass in front just to recolor them. So yeah, everything here just works really well. I rated this one a 10 out of 10 just because I liked it so much. Well, Spons plot was actually tied in score with this one. This one was made by Mekkit, and I just really loved the layout of this wooden coaster. It looks so nice here. Well, the plot is filled with coaster track, of course. There are some nice buildings in between. Just nice tree placement everywhere, even a little waterfall here. And yeah, I just love this layout here. There's a little double up here even. So yeah, really great work on the Woody. It's just really pleasant to look at, and yeah, I'm glad this is ranked so high. So yeah, this one and Spons were tied for 5th place. So a really great job from Mekkit. Okay, in 4th place we have this plot made by a newcomer on my server, Susbukett, and damn, just like the one from Spons, I also rated this one a 10. I just love all the little details that were put in this plot, the nice custom support work, and of course these nice looking buildings here with the radar dishes on top. They look really cool. This one was made with bobsleigh track and a piece of steel looping coaster track in front, and this one was made with a wooden coaster track. And also the water spouts were even used in a aesthetically pleasing way. I just love the way this looks. This looks so awesome. There's just nice movement all over the plot. There's some nice cogwheels encased in these buildings. These flying saucers also look really cool with all the colored flying saucers. I just love all the decorations on this plot. So this 3D cinema here encased in this really cool looking building. There's just such nice details everywhere. So yeah, in my eyes this one deserved to be the winner of this round. But in the end it got 4th place out of 15, which still is a really good score. And I hope to see more from Susbukett in the future, because it looks so awesome. Alright, and in 3rd place we have this plot made by Supra The Hedgehog. That mostly consists of big buildings, and there's also a little inverted hairpin coaster here. Well, the support work on this thing is really awesome. It's kind of hard to imagine that this was all built without cheats. So yeah, everything you see here can also be done in the normal Rollercoaster Tycoon 2, because no cheats were used here. Also, these buildings look really nice. I really like how we used these sculptures to actually act as the windows for this little building. That's quite cool. And he also used a trick to make these sloped walls. Because well, normally you do that with the tile inspector, but you can actually do it. I'll have to enable some cheats. Sandbox mode. Now I should be able to build here. So yeah, if you drag up a piece of land like this, and then if you pull it down here, then actually the walls will stay. So yeah, that's a trick to make sloped fences without using cheats or tile inspector. Well, of course I did use a cheat now in the sandbox mode, but that's just so I would be able to build outside of the available land. So yeah, that's how we made these sloped walls. The thing is, you'll have to build those first and then do the rest of the building, because of course you need to drag up the land, and you have to be careful not to destroy anything you built under it. But yeah, I think he used it really well. Well, my preference personally is with smaller buildings, but so this building was not really up to my taste, but most people liked it a lot, so that's why it ranked in 3rd place. I do really like this building, especially this part here where it extends and then has these little support pieces here. And also I think it's really cool that it actually has 2 working elevators. That's a really cool touch. And of course it's also filled here on the inside. But yeah, really nice work. Deserved 3rd place. Alright, in 2nd place we have this plot made by Julia Mild, and damn, these buildings are just full of nice layering, nice decorations throughout the plot, lots of gardens and trees. Everything just looks nice. It's very nice to look at. Well, I don't really understand this suspended monorail. I mean, the track is more what you would expect, for example, for a mini suspended roller coaster. I think that would have also worked really well on this plot. But still, everything looks nice, so that's why it scored so high and got 2nd place in this round. I just really love these buildings. If you ever want to make nice buildings, just look at these ones as an example. It's also quite impressive that these were built without using any cheats, so without any clearance checks disabled. So yeah, I think that's really impressive. I also like the mix of the Roman roofs with the normal roofs. Also this shop here is also decorated quite nicely. So yeah, I think this is definitely a well-deserved 2nd place. Really nice looking plot. Okay, and then here we have the winner of the round. Let me use a cutaway view here, because there's quite some big structures around it. Well, and who made this plot? Well, I actually made this, so I'm really happy people rated mine to be the winner of this round. So yeah, I actually went for an Egyptian theme. Well, not the usual Egyptian theme you normally see with sand everywhere. No, I actually made it nice and green, and I called it the Nile Delta. So yeah, there's actually paths here everywhere. Just some nice ruins, still using the Egyptian theme, mixed with some standard walls, just to make some nice patterns here. I filled it with nice statues here, ruins, also some waterfalls here. The coaster actually gets launched over this track, so here actually the waterfall's right next to it, and here it passes under another waterfall. I thought that was quite a cool trick to use. So yeah, the coaster has a nice top hat here, and it actually travels right next to the path here, so the guests actually can watch the coaster through these windows here. I thought that was a funny trick to use. Here then goes through a cobra roll, then it travels under the pyramid right here. You can actually follow it here under the pyramid. Then here it does a 0G roll, and then it has a twisty section into the block breaks and then back to the station. So yeah, I was really happy with how the layout of this coaster worked out. I also decided to put some other rides on it. So here, right next to the top hat, there's this Ferris wheel called the Wheel of Ra, the sun god. Here you can see a launched freefall. I actually put this glass sculpture on top. I thought it was a nice touch. It's called Icarus, after the story, I think, with the guy who flew towards the sun and then his wings burned off, something like that. And I actually hid another ride on this plot. You can't see it now, but it's actually hidden under the pyramid. Well, many people may not know this, but these pyramids are actually hollow on the inside, so you can actually hide a ride under it. So that's what I did here with this 3D cinema. I thought that was a cool trick to use. Well, I made a little square here in the middle with some shops, and well, I think that's really all there's to say about the plot. I raised some parts of land up here and put some nice greenery on top, just to give some contrast with all the brown stuff, just so it wouldn't all be brown, and to have some nice contrast. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this plot worked out, and I'm really happy it was rated so highly by all the members of my community, and I'm happy with the win. Alright, that was it for round 29. I will now go on a week of holiday, and after that very special round will start around 30. Well, yes, the 30th round, of course, and I really want to do something special, so I've made up some really interesting rules. It's a round that will last a little bit longer than normal rounds, but it will be awesome. So stay tuned for that. If you want to join any of these rounds, they usually last for 2-3 weeks. If you want to join any of these, you can join them if you are a member on my Discord server. The link to my Discord server can be found in the description of the video. And well, that was it for this video. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again in the next video. See you later.